What's going on, everybody? I'm Brad from Mobile, Alabama, and this year in 2023 I will be attempting to hike the Appalachian Trail, also known as the AT, northbound from Springer Mountain, Georgia to Mount Katahdin in Maine. Just wanted to do a quick little video. I get a lot of questions about what all I'm taking with me on my trip. This is everything right here you see laid out. And I've got it all packed up, ready to go, but I will go through it real quick to show you guys kind of what I plan on taking. Now, one thing to consider, everybody hikes different. Everybody's needs are different. This works for me. This may not work for you. More than likely, this exact setup will not work for you. But I've done my research on most of this stuff. And I've tried out all of it, and this works for me. So real quick, this stuff here, this is not packed up because this is what I'll be wearing. Keep in mind that when backpacking, you generally dress in layers because the temperature can change from morning throughout the day and then into the evening. So when I take off, I don't have them right here with me. They're in the pack because I'll be traveling in this as well. But I have some Injinji sock liners. I'll show them to you when we get into the pack. But they go underneath these. These are darn tough socks. They're made out of a blend of merino wool and some synthetics. They're great at wicking moisture, trying to keep your feet dry. These are a mid-crew length. And they're mid-weight as well. They make them in all different various options. I went with these. They're comfortable. They work for me. I like them. So a pair of darn tough socks. This is just a buff. You can wear it around your neck. You can wear it around your head. Can either keep you warm or keep the sweat out of your eyes, just depending on how you fashion it. This is just a set of Nike running shorts. I'll be hiking in these when the weather permits, when it warms up some. This is a synthetic t-shirt, nothing fancy about it, just something I picked up here locally at Alabama Outdoors. Just a t-shirt to hike in. This is a long sleeve shirt. This is synthetic. Don't want to take anything cotton. Cotton holds water and can leave you damp, doesn't dry as quick, can get heavy. If you end up sleeping in it or end up getting damp clothing into severe cool temperatures, then you start running the risk of hypothermia and things like that. So this is just a synthetic long sleeve shirt I picked up off Amazon. Just kind of like a outdoorsy long sleeve shirt. It's thin. So I can probably keep this throughout the summer and help keep the sun off me some. And this is a pair of backcountry hiking pants. Nothing fancy about these. We'll probably eventually send these home once I get up maybe around Damascus or Mount Rogers, when I know for sure that we'll be done with winter weather. I know it's, for people watching here in Mobile, I know it's warm here now, and more than likely we're done with super cold weather for the remainder of our year. But up in the mountains, it can still be pretty chilly, if not freezing at night, depending on what elevation you're on. This is a pair of merino wool underwear that I bought from REI. So that's what I'll be taking for that. These are my trekking poles. These are Leckies. As you can see around this one, I've got some duct tape wrapped around the end in case I need any duct tape for anything. Around this one, I have some Luco tape wrapped around it. This can be used for blisters. Can also be used as a Band-Aid. Can be used to patch stuff, just like the duct tape can. So I've got a little bit of each around each trekking pole in case I need it. It's here instead of in my pack, trying to reduce weight. This may not be enough for the entire trip. It may take 6 months to do this thing, but it's enough for now. If I need more, There are plenty of outfitters along the way that I can stop at, resupply, and just pick some of that up as needed. This smart water bottle, this is sitting out and not in my pack because it's still new, it's full. This is a 1 liter bottle. I will be taking this with me, but it will not be full. I will probably drink this the morning I leave out. Before I leave, I'll do what's called cameling up. It's when you're at a water source, you have plenty of water to hydrate, drink as much as you can there, so that you don't have to carry as much water. There are plenty of water sources along the trail. You can stop and filter water. So as long as you have enough to make it to the next water spot, and you know where those spots are, why carry it? Why carry a ton of water? So I'll be drinking this, but I will be carrying this with me. This will be one of my 2 water bottles. The other one, I'll show you in a minute. It's on my shoulder strap on my pack. It's a 750 milliliter smart water bottle. It's got a little sports cap on it. It's easier to drink out of. It keeps it clean, keeps the mouthpiece clean, that kind of thing. And the nice thing about these, if they get funky or something like that along the way, you can stop at a gas station or anywhere that sells water bottles and just get a new one and toss the old one. So they're super lightweight. That's why they're popular to carry. They're very lightweight container-wise and easily accessible. Also, the water filter I'm going to be carrying, it's a Sawyer Micro. I'll show you that in a minute as well. It marries to the top of this bottle, so I can drink straight from this bottle through the filter, or I've got another piece of gear I'll show you in a moment also that it marries to as well. So this will be just for clean cooking, drinking water container. This is a 1 liter bottle, and it'll be coming with me. This is just a little fanny pack I purchased on Amazon. Nothing special about it. I think it was like 15 bucks. This one here is made by 4 Monster. Like I said, it's nothing special about it. It does have some type of water resistant fabric. It's got the water resistant zippers on it, which I like, and it holds 1 liter. So I weighed this thing just a little while ago. This thing's sitting at right about 13-14 ounces, and it'll go around my waist. This front zipper is my Sawyer Micro water filter I was telling you about. I mentioned a sports cap a few minutes ago on my other water bottle. This is a sports cap that I got off of an older water bottle, but same thing from a smart water bottle. And this is the clean end of your filter. This is where once the water passes through here, through the filter, it comes out this area. The water will be clean and drinkable. And so a hack, a lot of people use these little caps. They just screw on the end of your filter. It keeps your clean end clean, keeps dirt and grime, funk out of it. I thought that was neat, so I started using one, and it works pretty well. So that's my water filter. I'm keeping it in my fanny pack because it'll be easily accessible, and I don't plan on carrying a whole lot of water throughout the day, especially if I know that there's more water coming up. Why carry it on my back when I can just stop, and I'll probably need a break anyway. Take the pack off for a minute, stop, get some water, camel up, get enough for the next little leg of the trail until I get to my destination or till I get to where camp is. Inside the fanny pack here, I've got this little pouch. This is from Sea-Tug. I initially bought this and I was going to use it as a wallet, but it's just kind of too big for a wallet. The wallet that I traditionally carry is leather, way too big, way too heavy, and really all you need is something to throw an ID, insurance card, a couple of credit cards in, that kind of thing, a little bit of cash, and you should be good to go. No need in carrying a big, bulky wallet. But inside my first aid kit, there's not a whole lot. There's some Benadryl. There's some Pepto-Bismol, some vitamin I, also known, that's what it's called on the trail a lot, but also known as ibuprofen, some triple antibiotic cream, and a few random size bandages, band-aids, and some also some more things that are made for treating blisters. I know I showed you the Leukotape. I've got some things that have ointment already on them. You peel them, stick them. Gonna try those out and see how they do. They've worked well in the past. I don't see why they wouldn't work for this too. Some tweezers in here in case I get any ticks. That's a real big concern on the AT is catching ticks or getting ticks, making sure that you pull them off as soon as you can so that you don't get Lyme disease. Lyme disease is a big thing that takes people off trail, depending on how bad they get it or whatever their conditions may be. So definitely want to try to stay on top of that. Also got a little Swiss Army pocket knife in here. It's the smallest one they make, and it's got like a little pair of scissors built into it. I'm not going to dig all that out, but anyway, a small Swiss Army knife as a pocket knife, scissors, and I think it's got a file on it. So that's the first aid kit for the trail. This is a battery bank. This is a Nitecore 10,000 mAh battery bank. It's compact, it's super lightweight. This thing will recharge my phone about 2.5 times. I've got an iPhone 13. So if I leave town, if I get to a town, or if I leave anywhere that's got power, I can charge my phone, I can charge this thing, and I will be leaving out from that location with a full phone and the ability to charge it back up about 2.5 times. For the most part of the experience, I'll probably be keeping my phone in airplane mode. There are places on the trail that have cell phone coverage. It's spotty though, it's in and out. And from what I know about cell phones and towers and things of that nature, you don't want your phone on and looking for a cell phone signal when there's not one to be had. You will run down your battery really quick with it trying to find a tower that's just not there. So if I need to make a call, I'll check and see if I have service, or if I need to send a text, check email, whatever. Normally those areas are on top of ridges and that kind of thing. And so that's how I'll plan for that. The reason I'll need my phone is most of my basically all of my navigation will be done through my phone. There's an app they make called Far Out, used to be called Gut Hooks, and it has the entire trail on it, where the shelters are, where water is, where towns are, where tent sites are, anything just about that you may need. You can look on there and you can see where you're at and where it is in relation to your current location, and kind of figure things out from there. The maps are all downloaded to my phone, so I do not need service to access them. And I can navigate through the GPS on my phone the same way that your car runs off of GPS without any kind of cell phone coverage or service going to your car. So it's pretty neat, all the technology that's come out with that. There's also a 2023 AT guide that's put out. I've got a digital copy of it on my phone as a backup. So plenty of ways to navigate. In here, there's an Appalachian Trail Passport. This is a neat little book you can purchase. It's kind of like a passport book. It's got a place to get stamped as you go through different areas. Some of the restaurants have them. Some of the outfitters have them. Just kind of a way to document the journey. I thought that was neat. You can stop in the post offices throughout the little towns, and they say that they'll stamp them for you just to mark that you were there. I've got a little toothbrush from Z-Packs, some toothpaste I'm going to carry somewhere where it's easily accessible. That just works for me. This is a little wallet I've got. I picked this thing up at the checkout line at Academy. I think it was like $5. It's super lightweight, it's small, it does the job, it works for me. Got a thermometer in here, a little digital thermometer, just because I like to know what the temperature is. And some coffee, some Gatorade, and that's pretty much it, this thing. So that's my fanny pack. That's what I'll be wearing on my waist. All right, getting to my pack. This is the Mariposa. It's made by Gossamer Gear. It is a 60-liter pack, and this version of it weighs right at 31 ounces. The pack itself, empty, does. Which, if any of you know anything about backpacking or did some backpacking years ago, 31 ounces is just your pack weight empty. That is incredible. Technology has come such a long way, probably in the last 20 years or so, on a lot of this gear. It depends, each pack, depending on what size you get, weighs a little bit different. This is a medium pack with a medium hip belt. Like I said, it weighs in at 31 ounces. I like it because it has a lot of pockets on it. It's got this big mesh pocket on the front. I'm not even using this thing right now, but this thing works great if you get wet gear. You can throw it in here. You don't have to put it in your pack. You know, they say it can help dry out because it's mesh while you're hiking or whatever. I haven't necessarily found that to be the case through my experiences, but it definitely is a nice place to put wet stuff. It really comes in handy when you're breaking down camp in the rain. My whole tent will fit in this thing, and it's nice to just throw your wet tent in there and get moving. And later on, when and if the weather breaks or you get to a shelter or something, you can pull your tent out of this thing and air it out, dry it out, and go from there. Like I said, it has a hip belt on it. This is the other water bottle I was talking about. This is a 750 milliliter smart water bottle. I just bought this attachment that goes on to this strap. This strap over here, I've got a little pack towel, just like a little hand towel that I carry just to wipe sweat, wipe my hands, whatever I need. This little pouch is actually designed to hold a cell phone, but I've got gear in it. I've got my tent stakes and my kit to hang a bear bag in it, just because that works for me. I found that I really never put my cell phone here. My cell phone was always usually in my pocket, or I guess I could put it in the fanny pack, but normally it rides in my pocket. I don't know, that's just what works for me. So anyway, I decided to put some gear in it. Like I said, I've got some lightweight tent stakes in here. 2 of them are larger tent stakes. Just based on what kind of terrain I'm trying to drive a tent stake in, which I forgot to mention, my trekking poles, they also double as tent poles. Okay, so I have to have 2 really good connections to the ground to hold those tent poles up or sturdy. And so anyway, that's why 2 of them are just a little bit different. I bought all these from Z-Packs where I bought the tent. And we'll get to that in a few minutes. But the larger, they're just really a little bit wider. Tent stakes also double as a trowel. I don't know if you've seen the ultralight titanium backpacking trowels they make and sell. They're not much larger than these tent stakes. And you can use one of these tent stakes that are a little bit wider to dig a hole if you need to. And trust me, I've had that experience, and they work for me just fine. So that's why I did not spend the money or have another piece of gear to keep up with. Okay, inside these, this pack comes with pockets on the hip belt. Not all of them do. I like it because you can put snacks and stuff in here, and also gear. This is a CNOC 2-liter bag. This is a water bag, and this marries to that filter I showed you. So this bag is solely for dirty water. You scoop up water or collect water from your water source. You put your filter on this end, and then you just roll the top of the bag and force the water through the filter into one of your bottles or your container. So this will be set aside to collect and used to filter water into these other containers. These other containers they'll be kept clean, or as clean as possible, and they'll just be there to drink out of. This other pocket, I have got a Black Diamond headlamp. This one is not rechargeable. They make some that are rechargeable. Just don't really want to deal with anything else that I have to recharge. And you know, the way they make batteries these days, I think this takes some AAA batteries. The way they make them these days, I mean, they last a long time. So anyway, that works for me. I'm good with that. I've got that. I've got a little thing of hand sanitizer in this one, and just some room for some snacks while I'm hiking, just depending on whatever kind of food I'm carrying at that time. So the pack, it just unbuckles in the front, and then we just start from the top and work our way down. This is my stove. This is a JetBull Stash. Weighs about 7 ounces, 7.1 ounces, I think. It's also got a little 4-ounce canister of fuel in it. The whole thing fits inside of this. The whole stove does. This pot, this will be my pot, my coffee mug, my cup, my bowl, whatever I need to eat or drink something out of, cook in. This will be a one-stop shop. And this works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. Some people like to drink coffee while they're cooking breakfast. Personally, me, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm not much of a morning person a lot of the time, so I really enjoy just sitting there and drinking some coffee and trying to get the engine started. So that works for me. Got a pair of camp shoes. They could also be used, I guess, as water shoes. These are made by UFOs. They are a foot recovery company, I guess you could call it. I picked these up from Fleet Feet here in Mobile. And they're supposed to have some type of UFOs patented foam technology that helps with foot recovery after a long day of hiking or running. They make them in all different styles. They make slides. I like these because they protect the tops of your feet. They Velcro. If I had some kind of issue on trail where I had a malfunction with my foot gear, I could definitely use these to hike until I got to a place where I could get some new shoes. So under that is my food bag. This is like a 20-liter Sea to Summit bag. This is 3 days of food. I won't go through all of it right now, but that's my food bag. This is just a bag full of random stuff. This is a 2-gallon Ziploc. I got this from Smelly Proof. It's supposed to limit or cut down on the amount of smells, I guess, emitted from your gear. I think it was mainly meant for like food storage type stuff, but I don't know. I'm using it for this. This is some toilet paper, some plastic bags to pack out toilet tissue in. All that stuff has to be packed out, not the waste, but the toilet paper and stuff has to be packed out. These are some dude wipes just for cleaning up, taking care of myself. This is a prescription for an antibiotic that I talked to my doctor about. Yes, I went and got a full physical before I decided to try to do something crazy like this. Anyway, it was recommended by a lot of past hikers to get one set or one fill of a prescription strength antibiotic if your doctor would do it. That way, if you do start showing some signs of Lyme disease or any other type of infection while you're out on the trail, it can help if maybe you're a couple of days from town or something like that. You've got that there and you can get that started. So this is a couple of ounces of Dr. Bronner's soap, just for taking care of myself, my pots and pans, that kind of thing. This is another little towel. This is one I'm going to keep in the pack. This one that I've got on my shoulder strap, it's nice, but usually if it's raining, this thing's going to get wet. And I can tell you from experience, once you get your shelter or your tent set up and you get in there, when it's time to be dry, it's time to be dry. It's nice to have something just to get all the wet off your skin, especially if you're soaking wet and all your gear is dry. Well, if you start moving around and messing with all that stuff, you're going to get all your gear wet as well. So I'm taking that. This is a little air pump. This is for my insulated sleeping pad. Listen, I know there's tons of ways to inflate those things. You can use a pack liner bag. They make stuff sacks. Tried all that. You can blow them up yourself. I've tried all that. I can do that if this thing fails or if I don't get this thing charged. It's not the end of the world. This is just a nice little luxury item that I like and that I'm going to take. So it's got a little attachment that goes on it, and you can fill up your insulated pad. Got a lighter in here, got a titanium sport, some hand warmers, some tooth floss, and a pair of earplugs. Now, you might ask, why am I carrying earplugs? Because sometimes when you're sleeping in a group setting, like in a shelter or a hostel, or even in, I suppose, in a campsite, you may hear people snoring from another tent. It's highly recommended to bring a pair of these. So I've got one pair. Hoping I don't need them, but chances are I probably will. So there's that. Now everything else in here is inside of a pack liner, which is just a fancy way of saying a really thick plastic bag that's large, and that I got these from Gossamer Gear. They come in a pack of 2. They're not very expensive. So I'll show it to you in a minute when all this stuff is out. But it's, anyway, all this is in a pack liner to help keep this stuff dry. The material on this bag is water resistant. So there is no pack cover like you see in the old days. I guess some people who carry some brands still have pack covers. There is no pack cover for this stuff. The material is made out of basically the same, if not better, stuff than the pack cover is. But then, as a backup, you've got a pack liner in there that's plastic. If you've got it packed right, all your stuff will stay dry. I know that it will. I've been in a torrential downpour. I've been in snow. So I've tested this stuff out. This works for me. And if you set your stuff up, at least in that fashion, it should work for you. This is just a fleece. This is like mid-weight layer that I can hike in or whatever. This is a North Face. Tell you right now is a great time of year to buy some winter gear or cooler weather gear. I got this thing on clearance for like $30 from Academy. So anyway, that's my mid layer. Just a fleece. These are the sock liners I was telling you about. These are Ingenji sock liners. I'll open up a pair here. You can see that there is a sock for each individual toe. That's to cut down on the amount of blisters that you get. Or hopefully you don't get any blisters at all. But I'm bringing 2 pairs of these liners, 2 pairs of socks, and those will be all to hike in, and then 1 pair of socks that are strictly just for camp. That I know that I'll always have at least 1 pair of socks to sleep in at night, or have dry, because you always want to have, especially in the cooler or the winter months, you always want to have dry clothes at night to sleep in or to be at camp in, so that you don't get hypothermia and die, basically. I won't have to worry about that so much because I'm starting later in the year, but I've got all this stuff with me just in case we have some crazy weather event and it ends up being like 15 degrees at night in the Smokies, something like that. I'll be okay. So anyway, another pair of merino wool underwear for camp. These are just some more socks. Like I said, a total of 3 pairs of socks, two pairs of liners. This is an outdoor research, like skull cap beanie, just to keep my head warm. This will probably be going home once I get up around Damascus with like the hiking pants. So when I say sending stuff home, I mean just going to a post office and shipping it back home, getting it out of the pack. So, because if it's unnecessary, why carry it, right? This is a set of Patagonia thermals. It's a top, long sleeve top, and pants. These will be what I wear around camp or sleep in. Like I said, I always stay dry. Never hike in them or anything like that. Never get them sweaty. Those would be my end of the day or nighttime clothes, that kind of thing. This is my pillow. This is from Sea to Summit. I believe this is called the Arios Premium Pillow. They make one that's similar, that's lightweight. I mean, this thing is already super lightweight, but they make them that are even lighter than this. I don't care. I like a good night's sleep. This one has like a soft fabric type material on it. The other ones that are more lightweight are just plastic, and I don't want to sleep with my face on a plastic pillow. That sounds terrible, especially in the summertime when you might be sweating a little bit at night, or it just might be sticky outside at night. Sounds terrible. I will take the couple of extra ounces and have something soft to lay my head on at night. So that's my pillow. This is my sleeping bag. This is a Sea to Summit Spark 3. It is a ultralight sleeping bag. This thing weighs like 23 ounces. It's super lightweight. It has 850 fill down inside of it. I went with a sleeping bag instead of a blanket, basically. My mind drew a blank. Maybe it'll come back to me in a minute. But I went with a sleeping bag because I like in the wintertime, it comes all the way around you. It doesn't, on a lot of the newer style sleeping systems, they only cover basically like a blanket. They only cover the top side of you, and whatever is laying towards the mat is just exposed to the mat. I don't necessarily care for that. I like something that wraps all the way around me. So that's why I went with a bag. I probably could have saved a few ounces if I would have went with the other option, but this works for me. So that's what I'm taking. And next, this is my pad. This is a Sea to Summit Ether Light XT. This thing weighs right at about a pound, 16 ounces. Super comfortable. I think it's got an R value of about 3.2. For those of you who do not know, an R value on something like this is how well it's going to keep you warm in cooler or winter type conditions. The highest R value there is a 7. This is a 3.2. I'm not going to be doing any crazy winter camping, hopefully. And if I am, it'll only be for a couple of nights. But nothing where I need like a 6 or a 7 R value this time of year. So anyway, this is what I'm taking. It's the Sea to Summit Etherlite XT, and it works great for me. Do the other side. Okay, and that's it in the main cavity of the bag. This is the pack liner I was telling you about. Just a large plastic bag. I mean, I'm sure there's other stuff that would work. Some people use compactor bags, trash compactor bags, not contractor, compactor bags. Some people do use just a trash bag. Anyway, I got those. Those work for me. Over here, outside, if I can get it out, this thing is a little bit of a monster to get out of here. It packs in tight, which I like. This is my tent, okay? This is the Z-Packs Duplex. It's a 2-person tent. Keep in mind, if you're gonna put 2 people in this thing, it's gonna be really tight. And your gear, it has 2 vestibules on it. It's got a door on both sides of the shelter with vestibules that come out. So you could put 2 people in it and put your gear in those vestibules. But man, it would have to be somebody that you really like, or maybe just for a night or 2. This thing, but for me, with my gear inside of it, it's just right. There's enough room for me to lay down. Obviously, I'm not going to stand up. It doesn't sit very high. I'll show you all a picture of it set up. But it's super lightweight. It only weighs 18 ounces. I mean, this thing weighs nothing. And like I said, it is erected by my 2 trekking poles. So neat how technology and design and stuff like that has come so far. In this top pocket, I've got some gloves. I think I picked these up at Costco one day or something. They're warm, they work. They got some kind of little water resistant fabric on them, I don't know. Not like a super expensive pair of gloves or anything like that. They work for me, and I couldn't justify spending, $80 or $100 on a pair of designer gloves when these work. So I've got those. This is my rain system, I guess you could call it. This is from Z-Packs. This is the Z-Packs Virtus rain jacket and rain pants. The rain pants roll up. They fit right inside this. The jacket itself packs down into a chest pocket. I mean, it weighs nothing, but it's made out of Dyneema, same thing that Z-Packs 10 is made out of. Super lightweight, super water resistant. I mean, everything will eventually wet out. If you stand in a torrential downpour long enough, everything will eventually wet out. But I've had great luck out of this thing so far, or it's performed well so far, I guess I should say. It's not cheap stuff, but man, it works, and having the right gear is important. So it's got a hood on it. Wear a ball cap with it. Keep the rain out of your face. But the Z-Packs Virtus, my rain gear. Down in this pocket, I've got some gaiters. These are super important, especially because I'll be wearing trail runners. I forgot to set those in here, but I'm wearing a pair of trail runners, which are basically a tennis shoe with a boot sole on the bottom of them. That's the easiest way to explain them. The pair I have are a pair of Ultra Lone Peak 7s. They just came out in January. I've gotten a couple of 100 miles on them so far. I've worn them to Disney for 3 days. Those were like 15-mile days each. Done numerous other hikes and overnight trips in them. They've worked really great. I may end up switching shoes on the trail. Who knows with that kind of hiking and mileage every day. But for right now, that's what I'm going with. These are some gaiters. These go over your socks and attach to the top of your shoe. The Ultras come with little areas or attachment points for these to connect to. These are made by Outdoor Research. I just like these, so I'm using these. These work good. But yeah, so anyway, it's important to keep, you know, rocks and sand, moisture, most importantly, out of your shoe when you're hiking. And so that's the purpose of the gaiters. This is my outer jacket. This is a Patagonia Nano Puff. It packs down into its chest pocket as well. Makes it super compact. You just pull it out. And there it is. So, like I said, the key thing is to dress in layers. And that's why there's a little bit of everything. And the colder you get, the more clothes you put on, and the hotter you get, the more you take off. So that's pretty much it. Let me grab these shoes real quick. Y'all can tell I'm new at doing this, right? Okay, these are the shoes I'm taking, all right? These are trail runners. You can see how they have a boot type sole on them. These are the Ultra Lone Peak 7s. Like I said, they work great for me so far. This is what I'm taking. So there's that. A couple of things I've had questions about that I'll touch on real quick. Number one, bear spray. No, I am not taking any bear spray. The reason is, well, I just don't personally feel like I need it. Knowing what I know about chemical disbursements and things of that nature, you know, I've never pepper sprayed a black bear before, and so I don't know exactly what their reaction to that is going to be. And you would think, well, I'm just going to spray this bear and it's going to go away and everything's going to be fine. Chances are that's probably not 100% accurate all the time. But what you also have to consider is, you know, contaminating yourself. You're going to be in the outdoors, and what if the wind kicks up when you're going to discharge that spray and it blows it all right in your face? You know, have you ever trained for being pepper sprayed when you're trying to get away from a bear? My guess would be probably not. Or what if you spray it and your friends or fellow hikers get contaminated? Then you've got an even bigger problem. So for me personally, I think it's more of a, it's just not worth it for me to take it. Now, if you're planning a through hike, if you want to carry it, if it makes you sleep better at night, if it gives you better peace of mind, by all means, carry it. But just think about those things, and you know, if you have to use it, try to know or think about some of the risks that you'll take deploying something like that. So I'm not taking any pistols. I'm not taking my granddaddy's shotgun. Not taking a tomahawk. Trust me, those are all questions I've been asked. No, I'm not taking any of that stuff. You know, the purpose of this trip is to see the country, to see basically the whole eastern side of the country, and the just about the entire Appalachian mountain range. If I thought that safety was going to be a concern, I would tell you, but I don't think it will be, and hope it's not. So I'm just going to use my brain and, you know, try to make some good decisions out there, and try to steer clear of any of that. So I'm not planning on taking anything crazy like that. So everything I've just shown you, that's it. That's what's coming with me. Now look, I know that there are a million different combinations of gear to take, of ways to do things, of ways to cook food. This is just what works for me. This is probably not going to work for you. It may work for you, it may not. Who knows? I don't know. But this works for me. This is and this is how I'm going to give it a try. I'm sure I'll make some gear adjustments along the way. And if I do, I'll let you know what those are and why and how all that worked out and came to be. But anyway, that's pretty much it. If you would like to follow along, I get started here in just a few days, and would love to have you follow along with me. I'll try to share as much of the trail with you as I can and the experiences, both good and bad. You know, a lot of the people who document the trail by vlogging, they tend to only show you the sunshine and the butterflies. And so anyway, I'm going to document it all, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever. And we'll see what happens. But I'm super excited. I'm super looking forward to it. And I'll be trying to post on here, onto YouTube, or on Facebook at Grandquest-AT23, if you'd like to follow along on there also. And that's it. Happy trails. Hey, one other thing I forgot to mention. This pack has a sit pad. I'm trying to do this one-handed, but it comes on the back of the pack. You can see that this is an aftermarket one, or not aftermarket. It's made by Gossamer Gear as well, but this is like an upgraded one. But you can see it's nice sit pad. That just stores right up against your back. Hey, one thing I forgot to mention, pack weight right now is sitting right at 22 pounds, almost 22 pounds even, with that extra empty plastic smart water bottle, probably be a couple of ounces over. But I don't plan on making any gear changes between now and the time I check in. So it'll be 22 pounds with 3 days of food starting off. But I'll let you know. I'll post a picture or something when I get checked in, the way your pack and all that during that process. And I will post a picture of my official starting pack weight. But anyway, just to give you an idea of what all this stuff weighs together, that's where we're at. Talk to you later.